Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to another interview with the Young Merchant. We're creating a lot of content for entrepreneurs and go-getters and hustlers. Want to motivate you guys and give you inspiration and give you an insider to a lot of different industries you guys are looking to get in. So today we have a good friend of mine. We haven't talked in a long time. I'm super excited about this. But we have Travis Charles today. We're going to go over his business, and we're really just going to get into this personal, how he's doing what he does, what he's learned. And I'm just super excited. So today, I know a lot of people have a desire to get in the clothing brand business. I don't know, you can tell me if I'm wrong. It seems like something that you possibly could get in easily, but a lot of people, I don't know the statistic, but a lot of people are not around after a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
Tell us how you got into it. Tell us your brand. Tell us everything going on and where you got the inspiration.
All right, cool. So like you just said, my name is Travis. My clothing brand is called Forgotten Kings and Queens, as you can see on the wall.
Yeah.
Some stuff that I have over there. So the way I started was I like seeing designs that I think of in my head. I wanted to see it on a shirt. I wanted to see it on a person.
Okay.
So the idea of I can create something in my head and put it on somebody blew my mind. Like, you can actually have something in your mind, and then now you seeing people, thousands of people just wearing it and feeling good, and they like what you created.
Yeah.
That's what really got me like, yo, I love that. I love that I can think of something, and then boom, there's thousands of people or hundreds, however much. It actually didn't start out as how it is right now, but the way that it transitioned to getting more and more people to start liking it blew my mind. So the whole creative part of it, I love it. But we can get more into it, but like, it's not really just about business, and it's not really just about design. That's something I definitely wanted to tap in onto. A lot of people, like you just said, started the clothing brand, and then they fall off because they probably didn't balance the whole schedule out correctly. That's something that I had to learn along the way. Not only is not quitting the biggest factor of why I am where I am, but also understanding business and the creative side of it. So if you have any type of question that you specifically want to talk about, bro, we definitely could. So I could talk about the creative side and the business side. That's something that really definitely got to me, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll be straight up. It's a goal of mine one day to do it, and I think it kind of was how you started out creativity. So I had an idea in my mind. I want to try it out. I personally tried probably 2-3 times, or maybe it didn't come to market, but I was working on behind the scenes. And I had one real close. I have a product upstairs, but I personally you probably equate to it. I just wanted to be my best before I put it out. So
that's true.
Second thoughts, and I couldn't believe in it. If I wouldn't wear this, I'm not gonna put it out.
That's a big one.
But what do you feel like? That, like I said, how do you feel like? What was the push? Because that's what I see a lot of people come out with it. Not everybody.
What was the biggest push?
Yeah,
like okay.
At home? Yeah.
Right. So I have a couple people that I can think of at the top of my head. I'm not going to say names, that said that they were going to do it and they didn't do it. And my advice to anybody who's stuck on that part would be, think of it as you will never have a perfect product. You will never have the perfect anything. Like, whatever it is that you do can always be improved, but you can never have it to be the best that it could. And I realized that that's something that I always loved about myself. I don't mean to gloat, but I love the fact that even if I don't think, this is one of the best things I ever created, at least I tried, and I'll do it to the best of my ability. If it turns out crappy, it turned out crappy, but at least I tried my best. And that's something that stops most people. They get to the point of, there's a term for it. I can't remember the exact term, but it literally means if you want something to go out into the world, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be started. As long as you can get that ball rolling, after a while you can start perfecting your craft, and that's really what makes anything great. So like, I would say, just get started. Put it out there. You never know. You might find a crowd that thinks, this is amazing. So you can't really say, I don't think this is great, or I don't think this is the best that I could do. Try whatever it is that you think that you could do. Try it to your best of your ability. Put it out there and get some feedback. After that feedback, that's where the business comes in. You get good feedback, then you put it out there. See what they like. Get a gauge of what they're thinking. Take what they said into consideration, because a lot of times, some people might just say something and it doesn't really stick. It's not something that you should take as an advice, but you can just listen, comprehend what they said. This sounds actually like a good idea. Maybe let me try it like this, or let me do this. And if it works, it works. If it don't, discard it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best way to learn. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they're thinking, what do I want to watch? What do I want to wear? And that's a good way to start out, I think. But for you, like you said, that second round where you're really just trying, the first round is just getting it out there, make a decent effort, make something good that people want, but then leave it where it's at and get that feedback. And the people buying
Mm-hmm.
it are probably the best people to tell you what they would want, not
Yep.
yourself, you want, because you're not the one paying for it.
Exactly,
So
bro.
that's
That's the biggest thing. Because I had a great idea. This is a funny story. I had a great idea for a T-shirt. I'm not gonna say which one, but I had a great one. I thought it was great.
yeah,
Nobody else did. So you can't really say, yo, this right here is my best work based
yeah,
off of what you believe. You gotta let the people decide. They gotta
yeah,
say, yo, this is amazing or this is good. You don't have to listen to them and judge all your ideas, but they are the people that's gonna be buying your stuff. So they kind of have to
yeah,
say what works and what don't. So
yes. And I feel like that's one thing I've really learned to say. We're both young entrepreneurs. I feel like your business has been going longer than
bro,
mine,
it's growing.
but I feel like that's one thing people don't talk about is marketing. And
Yeah.
that is everything. I tell myself I go back, I didn't finish. If I went back to school, I would go back to marketing.
I
Because
said the same thing, bro.
it's literally like you can have this great thing, but if you don't package it in a way that somebody wants it,
Mm-hmm.
like just learning what people think, how they see it, what stories you can make from like just like a logo has a story in it that you can't really
Exactly.
see. So I think marketing people really underestimate. What have you learned? Because I've seen like your marketing is just creative. You had the videos.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you did a pop-up shop one time and you had like something digital in the back. And I just
Mm-hmm.
thought that was creative.
Marketing, right?
Yeah, it just seems I see you show yourself actually making the product so people see you putting your time. You do a lot of interesting, but then you also have the photo shoots. You have, photography and all that stuff. What do you feel like? What have you learned from marketing that's given you that success?
All right. So I would say the reason I truly believe I will be very successful is because of marketing. Like you said, if you can have a great product and if you don't market it correctly, it ain't going nowhere. 50 Cent said it best. He said he came up, he had like a flavored water type of idea.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
he was just like, he walked into a store and he seen all these water bottles and he's like, I want to sell some water. And what the real thing is the marketing. He understands that, if you have a good marketing, it doesn't matter the product. You just have to figure out a way to get people to get a good feeling out of your product. And that's
Yeah.
literally the best thing that I learned this year. Get people to feel good about your stuff. If you can get them to, when I see your stuff, I just feel inspired. I just feel happy. I just feel like I can do anything. Get people to feel a certain thing, and that's what sells. We buy off of emotion, and then we
Yeah,
use logic to justify it. So
yeah.
if you understand that concept,
I
you
like
can
that.
you can take stuff to the next level. So your question, I came completely off topic. What was your question again?
Well, you definitely answered it. You were talking so pretty much. I like that feeling good because when I'm looking at it, like that's a lot of things people might not say it outright. That's why they buy something. But a lot of times, whether it's you're getting the Jordan sneakers or you're getting the AirPods or whatever the case is, there's a lot of things there. I'm sure the iPhone is not the only good phone. There's a lot
Yep.
of do the same
The
thing. So,
Androids is way better in
yeah,
features wise, but we
people
like
just
the iPhone because what they bring a good feeling. They bring like a good business for whatever their market is. They're
yeah.
doing an amazing job. I got it. I'm not even gonna hold you. I was an Android person until I started using it and started feeling like, all right, yeah, this is the wave. And
It's just like
what
you
works.
feel, I don't know. See, for me, it's like all my family has. It's not a matter. I could care less. I've
Yeah.
had. I love the Galaxy Note, but I just feel good, being able to communicate with my family smoothly. For work, all my things are streamlined and they make it easy. But like I said, that's all. Another thing I said was about how bright the screen was, how expensive it was. It was just it's all emotion. How it makes me
How you
feel.
feel.
Yeah,
Right. And that's like if I wish I knew this literally 2 years ago because I was targeting people based on what features I have, what stuff I can bring to the table. And a lot of time that's cool, but that ain't gonna sell. People don't buy off of those things. I was pushing the wrong buttons. The
yeah,
moment I realized, you gotta push their emotions. You gotta make them inspired. You gotta
yeah.
tap into whatever they're feeling and whatever my niche is, make them, feel what I'm trying to push and promote. And all my brand is about forgotten kings and queens. I can actually explain it right now.
I was gonna say, let's talk about that.
Right. So it's called Forgotten Kings and Queens, and the reason why it's called that is because I'm trying to remind people who we are, where we came from. A lot of people, especially in Philly, we don't treat each other well. We don't treat our next brother correctly. We don't even treat ourselves right. So the whole purpose of the brand is to remind you, you're much more powerful and much more capable of doing whatever it is you set your mind to. Just me, myself, like being in front of this, I don't even like talking in front of camera or being in front of public speaking or anything. But at the end of the day, I realized my mind, if I can figure out how to control it, I can do whatever I set my mind to. And I want people to understand, you can tap into so much more than what you're doing right now. We came from royalty. We came from greatness. That's Forgotten King right there, Forgotten Queen. You came from it. And I'm just trying to remind you, if you keep regurgitating and keep bringing it up, eventually you'll realize it, and then, you'll tap into your greatness.
And that goes right back into your emotion. Now, people, when they wear your stuff, it's not about the color. It's not about eventually you get loyal people and they love that stuff about it. But the whole point of it is how they feel. They're getting reminded where they came from. They're being reminded of what they're capable of, and you're breeding confidence with your brand. And when people put that on, almost like a cloak or something, like they just put.
Right. So there's think about Nike. Nike don't make the best anything, to give it a beer with you, but they're the highest selling people out there. And it's literally because they have people like LeBron. They have people that they bring these emotions and they bring these ideas and they bring it to life. So if you can tap into the emotions that Nike is doing, you can tap into what Apple is doing. You could literally, and those are the people I study. I study Chick-fil-A, Nike, Apple, all of those people, just to put myself up against these people, so that at least now I'm not targeting the people that is neighboring me, people who are doing what they can do. I'm trying to hit the big dogs. When I hit them, that's when I'm like, all right, I'm stepping my game up. But as right now, I am nowhere near where I want to be. I'm just working towards it. But at the end of the day, if you keep striving and keep going after what you want, that it'll all happen. And that's what I've been noticing. I've been growing exponentially fast this year just because of my switching my mindset.
Yeah, I think that's for me with real estate, that's what I do. I study. It's not, you can learn stuff from people, your peers. You can learn stuff from even people that are maybe just a level over you. So you still look at those people to kind of keep yourself in check. But I feel like the best way to learn is from, I don't want to hear about money from somebody that doesn't make money. It's not that I'm judging, because I don't have no money at that point.
Right.
It's more just I want to learn from somebody who has to make money. If I want to write a book, I didn't ask anybody that thought about writing a book or is working on a book. I asked people that already wrote a book. And and if you want to be a certain level, if you're just okay with getting it done, you can start people maybe level up. But if you really want to see a certain level of results, you can look at the best,
and that's who you got to study. You're right.
Yeah. So what do you feel how do you feel right now? Is this your first business? What is your long-term goal? What do you see your business at in 5-10 years?
Okay, so I have I have two businesses. This one here is called the clothing brand. The other one is a car rental company.
I was going to ask you about that. I was going to bring it up unless you brought it up.
No, you can bring it up. We can talk about it. So for the clothing brand, in about 5 years, I definitely want to have my own store, have the whole setup over front. That's literally the creme de la creme for me right now. A big store, especially in Philly, because this is where it's needed. And as for the car, I want to increase my fleets. I want to have about 100 and some change cars in around that time. But and that's a huge goal. But the way my plan is set up, it'll happen, but it'll happen super gradually. In about 5 to 6 years, it definitely should happen. Within the next 2 to 3, I want to do some great numbers. I don't want to talk about it because I'm really close to making it happen. But because I feel as though when I talk about stuff, it don't happen. I don't know what it is, but it kind of jinxes me. But in about 5 years, I want to have my own store and I want to own about over 100 cars.
We definitely gotta stay in contact.
For sure, bro.
Yeah, but
whenever you're in Philly, I need to come to Jersey to see you, bro. So we can make it happen. Definitely talk and chop it up some more. You're in real estate. That's something that's the thing that I can't wait to do. That right there is generational wealth. You can pass those things on to your kids, and that's something I'm trying to learn myself. So
don't underestimate it though, because I would say we'll get to real estate too, but as far as your business, real estate is just an avenue, and that's one thing I've learned is that I watch certain people, and there's the trying to think, Grant Cardone. There's Tony Rock. There's so many different people that give Dave Ramsey. They give different. They're like totally opposite on what they say to make money.
Yeah,
but they're all successful.
Right.
So there's several ways you can make money. You can pass your business just like I can pass the real estate. There might be different ways to it. We could talk numbers. You could talk about timeline, the process, but there's different pathways. But there's a million ways to make money, and that's my problem. Has been like the last 2 years. Is
why is that a problem? What you mean?
Not a problem, but there's also like you gotta learn. You gotta pick something. You gotta commit at a certain point. You can pick 2 or 3 things. You can do more than one thing. But I was like, I right now what I've learned the last couple of years is between my peers, the difference is I know a million ways I can make money right now. But the problem is I gotta pick a couple. I don't have to do one. You gotta pick a couple of them and commit. And I think that's why I really see a lot of results in real estate right now is that I committed. So but a lot of people don't know I'm starting a painting company in Alaska. I have an LLC right now that I have to. I'm still figuring out what I'm gonna do with it, but I have a landscaping company I technically did.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah, so
those are some good stuff to target.
Yeah, but like when you get in, certain things I got into and I was like, this is good, but I don't want to do it. Or this is good because I don't mind work, but I feel like for you, it wasn't overnight, but you loved your craft. If you don't like your craft or you don't see if you see the results, what the height of it could be. If that's not worth your time, then don't do it. So there's like 5 or 6 avenues behind the scenes that people didn't see I was working on. And I think there's people realize there's different lanes. You can pass your business just like I can pass a piece of real estate.
That's true.
But yeah, as far as real estate, I think a lot of people are aware of it now. I think if you would ask me when I was younger, you would probably say I wasn't taught about it. But I think now a lot of people know about it. They just don't know how to do it. And it's not something they're going to get taught in school.
Right. I wish.
Yeah, a lot of people are extreme. They'll say, like, I wasn't taught money. I wasn't taught these things in school. I'm not too hypocritical about education. I think it depends on where you go. And that can apply to if you got money. Like, you've got money. You can choose to go to a school.
Private school.
Yeah, you don't have a good school. In Jersey, we have good public schools. In Delaware, I didn't have good ones, so it kind of just depends on
where you at,
but
how much money you got.
I know for a fact, like I was taught how to do a checkbook in my school, so I'll never say that I wasn't taught, but I was never ever taught anything about real estate, not once. It was never ever brought up an option. People are always stuck on college, I down college. I would never want somebody to do surgery on me if they never went to school for it. So
right.
I think college isn't bad. I just think you need to know where you're going.
What you're going for.
Yeah,
right.
But that's not the only way. There's a lot of people that dropped out of college and out of high school and created a business. People have gone through mechanics, the trades, plumbing, stuff like that. There are different ways you can get it. But I
gotta figure out what you like, right?
Yeah, and I love real estate. I just love it. I tell people I don't own a house. I'm not fake. I tell people I don't own a house. And the reason why is I don't comfortably feel like I'm there with credit yet. And that's why I haven't told. But that's why I love real estate, because every day I'm learning so much that when I'm ready, I can do what I need to do. I have a whole plan, and it's just a matter of timing, But I love helping other people when they're ready. I can help them. And
Right. I do know there's bread in that. Just not even from the whole real estate side, just the actual doing that contract and getting everybody to do what you can, the closing. I don't know too much about it. See, like that's your side, but I do know that that's the way to move if you're trying to build funds. I heard it's a good way to step it up. But like you were saying earlier, let me tie back into that point. You were saying to doing too much. Like last year, I lied to you not. I was making like 6 streams of income because I was doing so much. So much. I was literally by the end of the day, I was tired, burnt. And I realized my companies won't grow if I'm spreading myself thin. And like a jack of all trade. There's an extension of that apparently, which is like, a jack of all trade is a master of none, but it's better than a master of one apparently. So what I really start to understand is that you can focus on more than one things. You just can't focus on a whole lot of things. So that's why I minimize myself to just doing 2 things that, I enjoy doing the most and it's giving me the most pleasure out of it. And I can find, joy in doing it, because there's days where I don't feel like doing it, but it's the fact that I'm doing something I care about, I'm doing something that's for me. it's like, yeah, I want to go 10 times harder now. Now that
Yeah.
I know that it's for me, I can pass this to my kids. I can give this to my family. So that gives me a lot, even more motivation. Like my motivation, I have like a jar of motivation. And it's like anytime I need something, I got like 100 different things that, yo, this is why I'm doing this for my mom, or I'm doing this for that. And me only having 2 things to do is like, yo, I can go a lot farther than having like 6 different things just because I'm focused on 2 things. All my motivation and energy can just go to that instead of being burnt out by the end of the day.
Yeah, I think it's good for people to push people like me and you. We're real creative, really, like I said, you're the definition of a go-getter, what this blog is all about. But that can find you, like I said, we can stress yourself. My wife says all the time, sometimes every time she talks to me, I'm trying to do something different. And even though it's cool to have all these ideas, you got to really figure out where you want to hone your attention to, because in a day, you only have a certain amount of time every day. Now on that note though, I am totally agreeing with you that I would one day like to have a certain amount of, I don't ever want to rely on one stream of income. As much money as I can make in real estate, one day could just get wiped out. So I think there's nothing wrong with having streams. I think you only have so much time, so at a certain point you have to be able to delegate certain things to people with autopilot. And that's where one day I right now I'm honing on 2 or 3 things, and then when I get those up to a certain point where I can start delegating them out, then I can go to more additional things.
I think that's the thing more people should talk about. Like when you starting out on a business, you're everything. You're the CEO, but you're literally everything on that list.
Yeah.
And after growing, then you can start saying, yo, this guy over here, he studied his whole life to work as a bookkeeper. Like I might as well hire him. He can do a better job than I can do. You know what I'm saying? But in the beginning, you don't have the funds to do all of that. So definitely delegate. But obviously, as a CEO with a startup company, you got to do everything and, get yourself up and going.
Yeah, in the beginning, you just got to put in the work, and then you take it one step at a time. I have this, we have the microgreen business. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's called Urban Grown, my wife and I.
Oh, yeah. I seen you posting it up.
Yeah, so like that one, like I said, I have my screens right now are real estate. Writing is kind of like the blow up right now / the book. And then I have Urban Grown. And you have to be able to delegate what needs what at a certain times. Writing is, like I said, I write every day, but I can write in little increments. I'm touching everything every day, but you got to kind of know, how to manage your time. And it's kind of something I think a lot of entrepreneurs, like I said, there's some people that are scared to start, and there's people that are, I won't say too eager to start, but they got their hands in just too much
things going on. Right. And the solution to that, I would say, is make a schedule for yourself. And that I think that also stepped my game up. Like I was the type of person to have it all in my head, like wake up at this time, do this at this time, have this set up at this time, this meeting this time. You know what I'm saying? So that it didn't work too well because I was missing things, forgetting things, not even putting my energy into things that I should have. And it ended up biting me later. So I realized that, okay, I can't keep it in my head. I need to put it somewhere I can have access to it a lot. And, my phone, I'm always on my phone. So I bought this app. It's called Actions. It definitely changed my life. Okay. I'm not even getting paid, but I'm going to talk about it. Actions is an app that, you can schedule out your day. You can put like, what you're doing for each hour. You can categorize it like, personal health, business. And that's something that really set me up. So like, I have my time set up at 6 o'clock for waking up, brush my teeth. All of that is all on there. So like, I don't have to think. All of that is set up the day before. So all I got to do is get up, look at it. All right, this is what I got to do now. All right, this is what I got to do now. That it keeps you less everywhere. Like you don't have to be everywhere, especially in your head. You got like, I got to do this at 2, this at 3, this at 5. Oh crap, I scheduled these 2 things and then I forgot about it. That app definitely cleared all that space up for me. So I know what I got to do. I even give myself free time just because I do know, like, after a while of doing all these things, your brain gets kind of crazy and hectic. So you need to calm it down. Just give yourself a little couple minutes to breathe, meditate. I definitely promote meditating heavy. Meditate, and, get yourself on a good rolling or momentum so that you don't go everywhere. That's something that helped me out.
I think, and I think main thing for me, like that's what I tell people. Right now, I have all these ideas. I'm hustling. I think you can tell me if I'm good at marketing. I think I'm working on those things. To me, it's the organization. It's the administrative. It's the behind the scenes. The time management. And real estate. Honestly, not even real estate. Anything where you're your own boss. Until it gets to a certain level where you have a team under you and they're telling you what needs to get done. time is kind of wide open. You could just choose not to do work today if you wanted to.
Right.
But then what's going to happen 3 months down the line, 6 months down. So, I mean, for me, that's what I'm trying to do is learn on time management and organization, because that in the long run will probably double my business.
Yeah, bro. I can't remember who this person, they taught me a trick. This secret completely revamped my whole life. All right. So you can split your life up into hours, right? So
Yeah.
the first 6 hours, I would say let's say you get up at 7 or 8. From 8 o'clock to from 6 hours from 8 o'clock is what? 1 or
so like 2 maybe?
Like around 2 o'clock. From that time to that time, you would give yourself a task. Let's say you're self-employed or you're doing whatever it is you want to do, or even if you have a job and it's later or whatever it is. Within that 6 hours, you focus directly on whatever it is that you do. So for me, I'll focus on my business. For that 6 hours, like I wouldn't do anything related to anything else, and I'll just dive into that. And some people, like some CEOs, they be saying they work 18 hours. I don't know how you're doing that, because your brain gets distracted after a couple hours. So I do know that people who say they work 16 and 18 hours, it gotta be like, yo, you working a little bit, then you fell off, probably scroll through the gram, scroll through the computer, then go back on, and then come back, and then go back. And that's what make you work for 18 hours or 16 hours. But your brain, it gets stressed. So I realized if you can break it up in increments, whatever works for you, find out what works for you. But 6 hours is good enough for, like, it's literally, you can have a whole full shift of a job at 6 hours doing all your stuff with determined work. You can get so much done. You'll be on some Superman stuff, because you're delegating your time and you're using it specifically and hyper focused. So don't try to, like, put it like I'm not saying don't do it, but I would suggest, if you want to have a more effective life, delegate it to about, like, put yourself in a frame. So from the first couple of hours, you'll do this, and maybe for the next couple of hours, you relax or do whatever it is that you want to do. But if you set it up into blocks or chunks of hours, and specifically, this is for that, trust me, you'll get so much more done. And that's what got me to the point of, I can do so much because I'm delegating my time super concise. And that allows me to relax, and it also allows me to get all my work done.
Yeah, I definitely think, like I said, my problem, my business is so, you say sporadic. You never know. Somebody might want to see a house at 1. Somebody might want to see it at 6 for their schedule. So right now, that's what I'm trying to do, is get to a business where I can delegate certain tasks to where maybe somebody else goes shows the house for me, so that way I can get off at 3 or 2 or whatever the case is. So, I got to pace myself to that. But I totally think when I notice I get distracted very fast. So sometimes I have to shut everything else up and just work on this. And like you said, you work faster, you work way more efficiently. And even if you were only working 2 hours a day, which it sounds crazy, but if you just said 2 hours, and I'm not doing anything else for that, but this 2 hours,
so much done. I'm saying 6, but literally in 2 hours, you can do what you do at a regular job in 2 hours. It's just a lot of times we really do, like, we BS it. We don't, we gotta, if we focus it up on like 2 hours, I swear to you, people say they go to the gym for 2 hours. You do not need to go to the gym for 2 hours. Yeah. You get all of that done in about 45 minutes. The same pump, same all of that. It's just a lot of times we do bullshit. We BS it.
Yeah. I definitely think people got to be more focused driven, and just the thought of knowing that if I don't finish what I'm doing now, I'm not going to get to touch it till tomorrow. That, let alone, might motivate you. You got certain timelines, and I might not be able to do it that extreme. So whether it's a short amount of time or if it's a long amount of time, just committing to something and just trying to get it done over time, you'll see a lot of consistency and growth. Right. What would you say? Well, first off, where can everybody get the gear? Where can we get the fresh gear? Where can we get this good vibe of confidence and just reminder of where we come from?
Where can I get the clothes from?
Yep. So
Forgotten I'm on Instagram. I'm literally on everything. YouTube, TikTok, Forgotten 267. So it's Forgotten 267. It's very simple. Type it in anything, you'll find me. But Instagram is where I'm mostly on. If you want to find me posting every single day, Forgotten 267.
Okay. I'll definitely have that below so people can see that. I also have it. We'll be doing an article on this, so I'll be studying this interview and I'll write an article for you as well for the blog.
Bro, you the bomb.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make sure I have the links down below, just so everybody can see that too as well. But do you have any final advice for everybody watching this? What would I guess your lifelong entrepreneurial advice?
Okay. So Nipsey Hussle said it best. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. I was always trying to run to things. You don't have to. A lot of times people, like we was just talking about earlier, they will start a clothing brand and then they'll quit. Don't try to get stuff immediately. Delayed gratification. Anything that you want that's worth it will take time. It will take time. Maybe 5 years, maybe 10. It won't be overnight though. So life is a marathon, not a sprint. That's it.
I heard that, man. Well, I'm gonna take that advice for myself this week. And I think everybody else, we really appreciate your time, Travis. We're looking to do interviews like this to really interview real entrepreneurs that are really out here, whether they're grinding, whether they already made it. These are real people with real businesses. And we're really just looking to interview people for every industry possible, to just give people an insider to what they look to become. So we appreciate you guys tuning in today. Until next time.